Now it doesn't want to go. Oh, yes, we're live. Excellent. Okie dokie. Hopefully we're live. I can't actually see anything, but it's telling me we're live. So I'm presuming that because it's telling me we're live, we are indeed live. So I can't see anything other than a little Zoom logo. I can't see my lovely friend Tina. It is a minute to 11. Done redirection to Facebook Live page, the joys of technology. But the clock had started ticking, so I'm just chatting a little bit of rhubarb to use up that minute beforehand. And I am super hot here. I don't know about you down in Yeovil, Tina. Are you super hot?
It is super sticky, is the term.
Right, we are live on Facebook. So good morning. It is Sunday the 16th of August. I'm Claire. And this is my lovely friend Tina, who lives in Yeovil.
Hello.
And she has been painting her bedroom. So if you see any pink paint on her, that's what she's that's what she's been up to. So it is 11 o'clock now, so we can start. So hopefully some of you would join us. We know there's a bit of a delay. Like I've just scratched my nose about a minute ago and it just did it. I've just watched that. It's quite funny, isn't it? But yeah, so here we are. So this is my lovely friend Tina, and Tina is going to talk to us today about welcoming the goddess energy in, finding the goddess, how she found the goddess, and how that connects to her healing. I think that's exactly what we said, wasn't it?
It was.
So do you want to are you ready to rock and roll, or would you like me to interview you? You're ready to go, aren't you?
I'm ready to go.
Right, okay, off you go.
Yes, so first of all, we were going to talk about how I welcome the goddess into my workplace every day. And I do Reiki, tarot reading, work with crystals, inner child therapy. I'm just looking at everything else I do. That's mainly, and past life
loads.
Past life progression, yeah, and do workshops on crystals and goddess and tarot, and Reiki, attunements. Oh, that's what I do. What's the next thing? Anyway, and so when me and Claire went to Glastonbury 3 years ago and learnt more than 3 years ago.
Yes, sorry, it was 2014.
Was it? Right, sorry. And we learnt how to welcome the goddess in. And I'd kind of not done it for ages until I got this new holistic pod, which is like a wooden structure. And before I was working in a room that was kind of very devoted to God, God, angels, St. Peter, very that kind of way. And then as soon as I came back into my pod, suddenly I had the urge to welcome the goddess in, and she's been with me ever since. So, I mean, we know we go in and out of different whatever's up there, don't we? I feel. Anyway, so how I welcome the goddess in, and Claire can correct me if she does it
differently. There's no right or wrong. That's what I love, that there is no right and wrong. And that's why I wanted to do this, because all the people that read my blog and watch my page, they see how I do it. And I wanted other women to come in and say, this is what I do, because it is so diverse. So be as strange and weird and wonderful as you can.
I will be. So what I do first of all is I have a little altar in the center of the room. So normally I have an altar kind of on the side, but I have it in the center of the room, and something to represent all the elements. So, you know, a candle for fire, and then a little pool of water or something watery for water. Like it could be a piece of fruit actually, and then a feather for air, and then a crystal for earth. And so I have those kind of in the center, kind of that. And if I'm, you know, particularly working, say if I'm working on a client that I know, you know, has some form of something, I would put something in for them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so something that connects. So if it's something to do with the heart, you'd put something heart
rosy quartzy
or pertinent to,
yeah. And so I started that. I incensed my room in the corners of the room, so it's all protected. I'm sure that everyone hopefully knows how to protect their room. But I light incense or white sage and then waft it into the corners to kind of burn off any negative energy, and then round the doorway, and then I open a window. This is my little ritual every morning. And then I actually pray to God and the angels, please, and my spirit guides, please help me, support me, keep me in a protective bubble away from anybody's negative energy, and let, oh, my hands are coming alive when I'm talking, and then then protect the client that's coming in, or the person that's coming in. And then I was going to say something else, but that sort of thing, protection, and then I sit and ground for a little bit. And then I go to the first corner. So I've got a little compass, and I worked out where my east is in my room, but obviously it's where the sun comes in anyway in the morning. But I go to the east, and I just say, and we were taught to kind of holler it a bit. So hail and welcome, like, you know, you have actually got the goddess in front of you. Yeah. And you're doing it. I always feel like I'm on a movie, you know, with Thor, hail. But anyway, I go hail and welcome, and then I go goddess of the east, and then it's what comes to me at the time. Bring me your east, fire, passion, energy, anger. Sorry,
that's south fire, isn't it?
Oh, okay. No,
east is air.
No, we're different then.
Oh, you're different. Okay.
So there are different wheels, aren't
they?
Oh,
definitely.
And I work with this one. So sorry, I do.
No, that's okay. Is that Avalonian?
Oh, probably.
Probably, because I've kind of adopted the Druidy ones. But anyway, sorry for interrupting you.
That's really interesting, because I always wondered when I read different books and they go, oh, they have different things in different things. But no, East for me is about fire, because the sun rises, it's heat and fire and passion. And so I do that, and I then do a little twirl. So you kind of hail and welcome with all these things, and then I kind of twirl and then send the energy to the flame. So it's kind of in the center of the room, and then I say, hail and welcome, goddess of the east. And then I go to the south. That's next. That's the same, isn't it? North, east, south, and west.
Yeah, we haven't changed the compass point.
Yeah. And then I do water for the south.
Okay.
And do I? South, water. No, sorry. Hang on a minute. I forgot what I do now. You put me in a spin. What? South, water, west, earth. Yes, that's it. So I do water, and I hail and welcome, goddess of the south. Bring me your water, your emotion, your fluidity, and anything that comes to mind about water at that time. And I then do a little twirl. I'm sure they called it something else when we were doing the training. But I kind of turn around a spiral. I think that's what it's meant to represent.
Spiral.
And then go to the center and go, hail and welcome, goddess of the south. Oh, I do Reiki, and my hands twinkle when things are happening. So they're twinkling now, actually. So I think I'm welcoming the goddess as I say it. And I'm not
for it. Let's have the goddess with us. It is Sunday morning. We could all do with a bit of goddess on a Sunday morning, surely.
Exactly. And then I go to the west. A hail and welcome, goddess of the west. Bring me your earth, your groundingness, your fruition, the solidity of where we stand. I breathe you in. Do a little twirl. I breathe you in. Then I go to the north. Hail and welcome. She is particularly fierce, I always find. Goddess of the north, bring me your stillness, your clarity, your wisdom. I breathe you in. Oh, I'm going into it. It's lovely. And then what I do is I then do the Mother Earth. I say, hail and welcome, Mother Earth. I just stand there for that one and then twirl. Bring me your harvest, your mothering, your nurturing, lovely stuff. Hail and welcome, Mother Earth. And then hail and welcome, goddess of the moon, the stars and the planets. Bring me your divine wisdom. I breathe you in. And so I kind of do that. I've only started doing it, a couple of months again, since, like I said, I got my wooden pod, because it's very earthy. And people have noticed the difference of the energy. Oh, it's a lovely earthy energy. Oh yes, that's because I welcome the goddess. So it really makes a difference.
Yeah, it is such a beautiful energy in there. When we were away the other weekend, we were down in Wiltshire. Oops, we've lost you. We popped by to see you, didn't we, for a cup of tea?
Yeah.
And I was in your pod, and it was such a beautiful energy in there. It really was. And I could feel it when I stepped in, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because you just don't you? But
different, isn't it? Because I work with God and Jesus and St. Peter, like I said, a lot before, and that was kind of just different. This is womanly. This is a womanly energy.
What's St. Peter? Where does St. Peter come in?
Well, St. Peter, so I didn't know until, so what I was doing Reiki on someone, I could see that she was suicidal. I had a spate of that. Yeah, I get that. And so I could see that half her body was pink and half the body was black when I was, doing the Reiki and watching it. And so the black was trying to overtake, basically the suicide, the death was trying to overtake. And I just then saw St. Peter's keys in front of me. And I just knew, because I studied art history, I got a degree in art history. So I knew I'd done 14th century religious art. And I didn't understand ever why I'd studied that and what I learned from it. But I now know it's about Peter and his keys. And so these keys appeared. I went, oh, because he was he's the keeper of the gates of heaven, and he, according to Roman Catholics, didn't let any suicidal victims in, or attemptees. But he said, so St. Peter's keys, I just went, oh, St. Peter, can you help me? And he just blasted this black away completely, and it was suddenly this woman was all pink, and I was like, oh my God. And then when she came to at the end, I said, so how was that for you? Because I wasn't used to talking to people about what I'd seen and everything at that stage. She went, it was all black and then it suddenly went pink. And I went,
oh, yes, wow.
And I was like,
wow.
Yes. And since then, she's been fine. No suicide attempts. She's very happy.
Oh,
happy
that's
girl.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, because I know my friends Nicola, Janine and Sarah watched the last one, and they were keen to watch this, and they're all Reiki practitioners, and they do that where I used to work at the day centre for people with a learning disability, and they introduced a fantastic scheme they organised and introduced there, so they'll be really interested to hear that. And I have started Reiki, and I know what you mean about the colours. I mean, they've done far more Reiki than me. They're up there with you on the levels of Reiki, so that's really interesting. It'd be interesting if they are around. They might be watching it on replay. I know Jenny's here. Jenny said hail and welcome, so she felt your grounding too. So we have got viewers. We're not talking to ourselves.
We do.
We don't care anyway, do we? We just talk to ourselves.
Exactly.
But yeah, so sorry interrupting you, but that's really interesting, and the iconography of how something from your past came in, because I didn't know about St. Peter. Anyway, sorry, I'll let you crack on. Sorry.
No, I kind of always feel that journey from A to B, birth to death, and we do all these things in between, and we have no idea why we do them sometimes. Like, why did I haven't done anything with my art history since, however.
Gigi's here too, saying hello.
Who's that?
My friend Gigi.
Oh, all right. And so that whole St. Peter thing really helped me. And then, like, I still praise St. Peter because he's a big, powerful guy, and he really comes and helps me. Thank you, St. Peter. And there's my spirit guide. Okay, thank you.
Something flew past the screen.
Yeah. So I have a fly as a spirit guide, and that was my spirit guide. My spirit guide just comes in when I'm talking sense. So
mine would never appear. Anyway, sorry, my darling.
So he was listening about St. Peter, so I know that St. Peter is still with me, because sometimes I feel guilty that I'm working with Goddess more now and not St. Peter and God, but I know it's all the same thing raining down on us. So and I'm just going through a period of really working with the Goddess to help women forward in their lives at the moment, so fine. So and then the other thing about St. Peter, then I bumped into a gorgeous lady at a craft fair one day, and she painted religious icons. So that was her. She was an artist, and the ones like with the gold paint that you see in all the Greek churches and stuff. She painted them. She's amazing. She just moved to Oxford, actually. I'm very sad she's gone. And we got talking, and had it not been for me and understanding completely her iconography, because that's what I used to study, all the artists that she you know, was referring to, I knew completely because I'd studied Padua, Siena and Florence and everywhere. I don't think we'd have got on, well, we would have got on so well because she's gorgeous, but, you know, we really...
it was a connection, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then I've just done her Reiki 3 attunement. So she, you know, she was into Reiki and everything, and I taught her tarot, and she does journey work. Great if anyone's in Oxford, because you're close, aren't you, or thereabouts? And she does amazing journey work. Yeah, I'm from the southwest. I know nothing. She's
You're probably nearer to Oxford than me.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was only 2 hours actually. But I've never been. It sounds so far away. Anyway, she does amazing journey work, not shamanic journey work, but stepping into yourself and
cool.
And yeah, it's really cool. Anyway, I'm digressing, aren't I? So so that's how I hail and welcome, and then at the end I just say thank you, goddesses, for working with us today. I bid you farewell, and off they go, blow the light out, and off they go. Or they may stay still there if I forget that bit, and they're there all night, and I bring them back in the morning. Never mind. So Reiki and Goddess then, because I'm going to talk about Reiki and Goddess, inner child therapy and Goddess, which is what I do as well, and past life regression, which I don't do regression, but I go into past lives when I'm doing Reiki, and tarot and Goddess. Is that all right?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So when you're when I'm doing Reiki, then I have these goddess energy already before I started because I've held and welcomed them, and then I work with I didn't mention crystals. So I work with crystals a lot. I still haven't got, there's a goddess actual stone which is called the fairy stone. Have you heard of that one?
No,
it's called the Menelite. So
okay.
I'm going I went to Glastonbury yesterday and I forgot to get that, but it's a goddess stone, so I think I'd put that on my altar and work with that. I haven't got that bit yet. I also then, if you're going to play music when doing Reiki, sometimes I don't, sometimes I do, I ask the person if they want it. I would then play goddess music, and there's so much, isn't there? But my favourites are Eloise Pilkington, Tina Malia.
Yeah.
I've got a new favourite as well, and I can't remember her name. But anyway, there's loads. I got it on Spotify, a whole goddess playlist, and then I got a Reiki playlist. So it just depends on the client, I guess, as well. If I feel, you know, if they're very spiritual, well, it depends, doesn't it? Because if they're very angelic type Reiki, then they would probably not want me maiden goddessy stuff. I think it would be maybe too much. I don't know. But if they've got deep issues, then the maiden, I keep saying maiden because that's on the next thing about inner child therapy.
The maiden energy is strong with you today, isn't it?
It is. I'm a girly today. I've been painting pink. I've never had a bedroom pink. I've never painted pink in my life before. I'm not girly at all. So this is definitely maiden energy coming out.
But you are mischievous and bubbly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
Yes, well, so I'll talk about maiden in a minute. And then my dream of Reiki, which I haven't yet achieved, but I'm going to one day. I went to Reiki once in a lady in Ilminster, actually, which is 20 minutes from me, and she put back flower things under my tongue.
Yeah, back remedy.
Before we started the Reiki, she sprayed or smelling like scented oils underneath my nosy, and then played the whatever music it was, and so you had the full experience of taste, smell, sound before you even started. And that's nice. My dream it was heaven. And then she started into the Reiki as well, so I'm really gonna that's one of the things I'm going to do in the future. And so I was looking up so that's what I'm going to do in the future. But
sounds amazing.
I know, it was heaven. But I also do work with crystals a lot. I don't do crystal healing as such, as in, all the pointy bits sticking out in different places. That's something for the future as well. But I always get called. I hear the little voices in my head to say, oh, they need amethyst or they need whatever. And interestingly, I've looked up some of the crystals to work with for some of the goddesses. So I think I can also get a sense of when I'm working with them, where they're earthy, where they're airy. So quite often a dove will come in for an air person. And then tree roots, or being in the Amazon, or kind of, you know, in that environment, if I see that, I know they're an earthy person, or they once were and maybe need to go back to it. Sometimes they're happy place. Sometimes if they say, oh, I was back by the sea and it was lovely, then I would call in the water energy. You know, so it just kind of, but the crystals that go with certain goddesses, I don't know if you've done this before in your podcast, but Aphrodite was rose quartz,
right?
Artemis, which came up for me in one of my I'll tell you about that in a minute. One of my dreams the other day was I can never say it, dendritic quartz, which is Merlinite, so it's about magic.
Is that got the bits in it?
Yeah,
yes,
the bits in it. And also amethyst. Amethyst gets everywhere, doesn't it? Bamba is emerald for the earth, and the jewels of the earth. Brigitte is green quartz and jade, which I have. And then Ceridwen is sunstone and moonstone. I'm very interested in the moon at the moment. And Hecate is jet, so very black. So I'm, you know, that's quite interesting that if you're working with those certain energies, or what, you know, whatever goddess you're working with at that time, you can work those crystals within that. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to talk about inner child therapy, because that's what I do within my Reiki as well. So I find it fascinating that inner child therapy, it's a very psychological tool. Most doctors, even psychologists, don't use it. They always use CBT, you know, or talking therapies.
Yeah.
But I think inner child therapy is a very useful tool when you're doing Reiki. So Reiki is set in 1, 2, and 3. 1 is kind of physical healing. 2 is emotional healing. 3 is spiritual healing, past life stuff. So when you're dealing with physical, say someone comes in and they got a dodgy knee, and then I go, oh, okay, and I put my hands on it and I can't see anything. So I know it's a physical thing they've done in this earth. So I would just kind of just put my hands on them and heal them like that. But if it's if it's I see an age or a color, I just kind of say, okay, what age are you now? And they instantly tell me their age of when they had this original injury. So it'll be a childhood trauma that has released the pain in the body. And so I then would use their maiden goddess. That's when I would use, probably while I'm standing on the spot, please say, you know, one of the maiden goddess, come and help us work with this energy of this childhood past trauma that we're dealing with. And the person will, they'll say their age, say 4, and then I'll say, okay, tell me what's going on. What are you wearing? So where are you? Who are you with? How are you feeling? And they're just tapping into memories basically on the childhood side. And then they're just starting to talk through the circumstances. And it's always something, a trauma. It could be a little trauma, like there's a classic, I think I told you, that someone was, two parents were there getting an ice cream, and the little kid at 4 said, I want one. And the kid, they said, no, you'll only spill it, you know, and you won't eat your dinner, but you can have a lick of mine. And then the little kid is angry, frustrated, even at 4, really feeling hurt. And then the adults carried on talking, and they just sat there, oh, ice cream. The little kid's crying, and they kind of look down, oh, sorry, here's a stick. You can lick the stick. I mean, that's just slap on pain, one pain after the other to this little kid. And while then the rest of the day was probably peachy, that little trauma stuck, and it's hidden in the many layers. And then when, you know, probably self-esteem button went right down, so right under where you're putting your Reiki hands and kind of feeling the you know, and that your hands are on fire. And when you say, okay, what age are you? And again, I listen to my guides, because if immediately I see an image, then I know it's normally a past life. But if I can't, so if there's nothing going on, I kind of go, oh, okay, it's a physical thing. I'll just sit here and let my hands go. If it's something that stirs up a colour, normally I go, okay, tell me what age. Or if the woman or the person says, oh, I can feel, you know, oh, brown or red in my red where you're touching, and I know it should be yellow, then I kind of go, oh, okay, tell me what age you are. And then they just unleash this whole memory, and I go, and then we'll either deal with it, if it's, you know, rape or something, it comes up just like that. And you kind of deal with it, as I've been trained to do in a child therapy, but it's only a diploma you can do online. That's what I did.
So they come up with the age? They just...
Yeah, it comes from memory. And if they can't say the age, if they go, oh, no, I can't think, I go, no, I don't, just bypass your brain. Just come up with the gut instinct. If you can't tell me an age, tell me what's going on, right? And then they go, well, I'm wearing a dotty dress and I'm on my way to school. Like yesterday, I'm on my way to school, and someone is, the builder men that were around are just wolf whistling and saying horrible things, you know, saying I'm stuck up and things like that. And you just kind of go, okay. So, and we just examined that whole issue then, why she felt, was she stuck up? Did she feel that way? No, it's the way they made her feel. Then we talked about, you know, only you can make yourself feel that way. Can you see that they were innocent, stupid people that didn't know any better? And then we just kind of explore the whole issue, really. And then that person kind of goes, yeah, I understand. And then, do you forgive them? And we've hit a good one if they've said, yes, I forgive you. I forgive my father for raping me, and I forgive this. And then that clears. And then they always and then we close it down carefully. Please make sure you love your little person, you know, look after her, always be there for her. And then at the end of the session, they just walk out, oh, I'm so much lighter. You know, it's just
that could be really, really heavy, isn't it? I mean, so that's something you've trained in, and you know, you've got a qualification in that. So that is a really complex form of doing it.
Yeah, but the thing with that thing is that you call on that maiden energy. I would call it, you can't call it on at the start, because you wouldn't know what the person who's coming to see you is about, because sometimes it's past life, in which case if a past life comes up, I call an Isis, because he's the she was the goddess of the underworld, and I'd call on past stuff. But any of the maiden, I just call up maiden, and Diana, Britannia, they're maideny energy, see what comes up, really. But it has that more power that you use it. Yeah, it's amazing. Reiki is amazing. And every single person that does Reiki does it differently, using the skills they've got. So I learned in a child therapy. I do it on myself all the time. You know, we're many layers deep. We're an onion, aren't we? Boom, 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 peeling, breaking free all those traps. So you've got layers of inner child, of, you know, stuck child from this life. And then you've got loads of layers of past life stuff as well. To sort. That's why we're all messed up.
Wow. That's why we're all messed up. That's a really good explanation. So that is obviously not everybody that does Reiki does that.
No,
you know, but yours is a really specialist.
Yeah, and people go to the person for Reiki. They subconsciously know. I mean, yesterday, this lady, she said, it's my anniversary. Wedding anniversary. I do not want to cry. But she'd picked this day to come. And I look at the dates, you know, because that's important, around the moon cycle as well. And kind of, okay, why is this date? And it was have you heard of the Lion's Gate between?
Yeah, you said that before. It's my wedding anniversary yesterday, actually. You've got quite a few people watching you, and Jenny is saying, loving the goddess and geographically challenged, love it. And all my maidens are getting overexcited.
Oh, bless. That's really good.
Yeah, Jenny was on last week, so.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
So no, this lady, the anniversary, and she said, no, I don't want to cry, I don't want to deal with it. And so my hands were Reiki hands, like I always touched, but they wouldn't, her body wouldn't let me go near her. They were floating around her head and her heart. And I was like, okay, you're not letting me in today. Do you want to let me in? Do you want me to deal with this? And she went, no, I know what it's about. And I don't want to, because I started with her throat. I'm sure she won't mind me saying this, and I haven't mentioned her name. And the chances of her watching this are slim as well. Not that you know, because we are completely different counties.
Thanks, I'm off, bye.
Yeah, exactly. But you never know. And it was about her smoking. She said, oh, sorry, it just started. She lays down. Oh, sorry, I've been just smoking in the car. I said, and then my hands went round her throat. Oh, I could feel something. Okay, I can feel something. But I knew it wasn't this life, even though the smoking is not good for you. I was like, okay, tell me who started. And I just used my words in my head, the spirit guides, tell me who started you smoking. And there we went. And there was the journey, you know. So you've got to trust. You've got to trust what the spirit guides are saying in your head to follow the journey, because they just lead you down the right path. And
because here is like speaking your truth as well, isn't it? All the throat chakra.
Yeah, exactly. Which a lot of people have blockages. So that was inner child therapy.
Do you think that sorry, just interrupting.
No, carry on.
Do you think that a lot of that is that we are taught to be polite and not say what we think, and we swallow things rather than...
Yeah, and fear. So, you know, again, going back to childhood, from 0 to 7, all this psychologist stuff say this, we listen to our parents and believe them, or our caregivers. And then at age 7, something changes and we start to challenge. That's when we start to disbelieve in Father Christmas. So you kind of go, actually, I don't believe my mum. If my mum says, go on, it's going to be cold outside, put extra clothes on or a coat. At 6, you'd listen to her. At 7, you go, I sweat a lot. I don't need a coat. I'll be fine. I don't care if I get wet. It's a difference in opinion to your mother.
Yeah.
Now, some of them might be minor. Some of them may be major. By the time it gets to 16, you've either kind of gone back to listening to your mother a bit, or you're complete rebellious and you want to break free. And that's when lots of stuff happens. But then I always think that's past life as well, because you've picked your mother for a reason, and then you've learnt, or father, you've learnt from them. And then you get to 7 and you go, well, do I follow that path, or do I change, or do I rebel against it? That's what I've learnt. So
I think you've burst the bubble on Father Christmas for your listeners.
My children are older, they're fine. They understand. Sorry to lots of viewers. So then I was going to talk about past life stuff.
Yeah.
Only because of Reiki, because when then I see something, a past life, like a guillotine, or I saw a guillotine on my daughter, or several times I see arrows going into their shoulders, and oh god, what else? Oh, lots of weird stuff, you know. And then I know instantly it's a past life. So what I've learned to do is just kind of, again, at that moment, I'd call in Isis, please help me with this journey. And then she would give me the boost that I needed to kind of carry on that journey. I mean, I've been doing it without, but I know that she would give me, because I used to kind of see something and then really, really focus to see if I could see further on the journey, and then it would go. It's like a dream. But now a medium friend told me, just relax. If you see something, let it go, like a meditation, let it go. And then they will show you more. So then I see the journey of how this person got to the guillotine, or how she became a witch, and and quite often was wrongly accused. That's why I always find out when I'm doing past life on witches. They were just picking herbs in the garden, and suddenly I go back from the journey where they're, tied up or ready to be lit with fire, to how they kind of go backwards in slow motion. I see it, that they're trailed through the streets backwards. Then, people knocking at the door where she's picking herbs in the garden. And then, having a happy old life, and then someone has accused her of witchcraft. It's quite fascinating to see all those.
Quite painful too. Do you feel it physically?
Yeah, I do, because I'm an empath and clairsentient. So those ones I don't. But I feel sickness and pain in joints, faint sometimes, headaches. But I've never felt the pain of a past life. Actually, that's interesting. I've not thought of that before. I just see it. I see this thing, and I then, by reversing the situation, then what I try and do in my mind's eye is say, okay, she wasn't gardening that day. She was feeding the kids that moment when the people came to get her. And so we've changed history. We've changed that past life, which you can do in journey work as well. I feel like it's kind of a bit of a shaman thing. It just happened. It just happened after
it's
Reiki
what you
2.
do.
Actually. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So I can now know that, you know, I did a bit on my Facebook post the other day, a video about it, that, you know, what is the point of going to a doctor when they say they'll give you pills, or they will say to you, oh, sorry, we can't find anything. You know, it must be in your mind. No, if doctors can't find something, then it's a spiritual thing that's going on, and only spiritual healing will help. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and childhood, if you've got a problem that's caused by childhood trauma, like PTSD, for example, sorry, this is goddessy, isn't it? I'm not digressing.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm working with the goddess at the same time, but and this is a classic. I got a man who's coming in soon. He suffers from PTSD. He was in the war, in the army. He went to do 2 tours of Northern Ireland, and then he went into the fire brigade. When he came out, he said he suffered more PTSD from the fire brigade and all the dead bodies he'd seen in fires than he did in the army. But when we talked about it, he's very spiritual. He was talking about all the past lives that he's seen, that he has had. So I said, can you not see then that this PTSD, and he has had every form of psychological counselling out there, and physical, obviously, and it hasn't healed it. Can you not see then that this is a spiritual matter, and past life, it's a past life matter, and needs healing with past life healing? And so that we're going to do that, and we're going to do some Wiccan stuff within that, because when I read tarot on it, all the pentacles came up all the time, and I knew it wasn't about money or wealth or health. It was about spells. I've never done that before. We're going to work together on that. So he's coming in for a couple of hours ago.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So it's real multi-tools, isn't it? You're using everything on every various level.
Yeah, go with your instinct. And I think that, you know, some people will focus devotedly to one thing, that's all they do, which is fine, you know. And I always used a bit of a feel of fraud, because I'd done a diploma in that, or didn't finish that, but I learned about it, but I never finished the diploma. I've just done it in EMDR, and I kind of worked out, oh, it's not for me, you know, so I didn't even send the final essay in, but I learned everything about it. So pass that person on to somebody else if I think EMDR is right for them.
What's EMDR?
Eye movement, eye movement, desensitization. Can't remember what the R stands for.
That sounds like a whole nother question. We won't go there.
Yeah, it's really fascinating and psychological tool. But I know that if it's a past life, it won't heal it.
Yeah.
Because this guy had been, he said in one of his past lives, he had been born. So if you get to the actual very original soul of where it happened, this guy, his soul had been born without an arm, and so many past lives he'd had his arm cut off and things had happened to him. And in this life, when he went into the army and he was going to be dropped out of an aeroplane, his whole body froze, and he said, no, I'm not doing it, I'm sorry, I drop out the army for this, because I'm not jumping out that plane, because I know I'll lose an arm again. And so, you know, that was quite fascinating. He knew that. So with the PTSD, I know it's a past life, and we're going to try and heal it. Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's that. Sorry. And then tarot and goddess, that's the other thing I was going to say. Because quite a few of the cards, where they could all be used with within goddess work, but particularly the Empress as a mother, so the mother goddess.
Yeah.
And and also the High Priestess, you know,
Yeah.
deep psychological work, spiritual work. But there are so many, all the queens you could use for goddess.
Yeah.
And one of them, I haven't tried this yet, but one of my books said, place the card, whichever you decide to work with, against the mirror at eye level, put your music on, light a candle either side, turn out the lights, sit opposite it and breathe, focus into the card. So you've got kind of this flickering light beside it and the mirror effect. And then commune with the deity, and the symbols will rise from the card. And then when you get what you need, then thanks, blow out the candles and write it down. So
that sounds, yeah, I like the sound of that. Jenny's just said it's eye movement, desensitization and reintegration.
Reintegration. Oh, no. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Jenny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of I like the sound of that. I'm going to practice that. I think.
Yeah, that's that's scrying as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Which all divination is, isn't it? I kind of think just lately I've been really, really busy at work since my pod. Everyone's flocked in because I got citrine in my. So this is the key thing: have a piece of citrine in the farthest. And my fly has just bypassed again, so that's. Pay attention. So have a piece of citrine in the furthest left-hand corner away from your front door in your house.
Front door behind you, the furthest left-hand corner.
Yeah. And at work, the money and the customers have just flowed in ever since I put that there, my piece of citrine. So there's a big tip.
Wow.
Really works. I mean, they say you can put it in your wallet and things like that, but having a big piece, feng shui.
Feng shui. So you're a multi-practitioner, aren't you? I'm thinking I might have to invite you back to talk about finding your goddess, because we've been chatting for.
We've been out of time. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all right. It's fine. But if you're happy to come back another day and talk about that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
Yes, I've talked too much.
No, you haven't talked too much at all. But I know you want to finish painting your bedroom in the lovely pink that you're.
I've got to do a second coat.
Tina's not long moved, so she's like, you know, this is the last room to do, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
All over again. No, wait.
It'll be different. Yeah, so I think we might do that actually, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, sure.
I'll sort another date with you, and we'll do that. And yeah, so I know how much you do, but I'm sitting there going, wow, all the things you do. And I love the way you put it all together so that it's, you know, and for some people, like you said, just Reiki, just crystal, whatever is right for that person. And that is what really interested me in doing this. And one of my remits of it was that people can see just the variety of things there are, and then there is no right or wrong, and you use all of it. Other people will just use one facet, and that is just as right, isn't it? Yeah, some people will be really strict on their you know, people are, I don't know, they will do things to the letter, whereas you're very creative. No, I think that's wonderful that you'll say, right, I'm using it, that is going to work there, I'm going to pull that in, and that is going to complement that in that bit there. And I think that's fantastic. I really do. I think that's amazing.
Thank you. Because I always used to feel like, oh God, I don't know much about a lot, but I know
a lot about a lot.
Well, yeah, but you know, like you say, my friends are very strict. You know, I wanted to do a crystal healing course with one of my friends, and she said, "Oh, we can't at the moment because we're in, you know, the forms at the registered government body or whoever. I can't get them in because they're all closed down." And I said, "Can you just not teach me? And then I'll give you 60 quid or whatever." And she went, "Oh no, we've got to do it properly." And I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake." Sorry. Are we allowed to swear? That's goddess coming out, that one.
I'm not editing that. I mean, you like Naomi, my neighbour. Morning, Gnomes. She's just, I've joined the live late. This is fascinating stuff. And Jenny said it's all about building your toolbox. And I agree, it absolutely is. And difference is broad versus deep, maybe.
Yeah.
You either go deep or you go broad. So
yeah, but I find it, you know, it's so helpful. I mean, I haven't deliberately been like that. It's just come to me, you know. But I find it very helpful to kind of, and then if I can't do it, I'll send them to one of my friends, a kinesiologist or EMDR specialist. I go, I think you need this, and then, you know, reflexologist, whatever. they'll go with someone else.
Yeah,
and
knowing what you know and knowing what you don't know, and having the wisdom to say, I can't do this, but I know someone who can.
Yeah.
And Gigi's laughing at the swearing. Yeah. And I don't know, Hazel's not watching yet, but I know when she had she did a shamanic thing, everybody else had all these wonderful spirit guides, and she had a sweary fox that told her to go away quite a lot. So, you know, okay, everyone has a sweary fox.
Yeah.
No, it's usually me, actually, to be fair. But anyway, thank you so much, Tina. And I will get Tina back in a few weeks' time to talk about finding the goddess. Yeah, because that's I mean, actually, we could potentially do that as a little meditation journey, like we did before. Give you a chance to prepare one. How do you feel about that? I've just put you right on the spot there, live.
I don't mind. Because I've got two. One is about thinking of the aspects of the goddess, how it means to you.
Yeah,
that's kind of it's not a meditation, but the other meditation, it's actually going down and finding.
Okay, well, we do that. I think because I think that'd be quite interesting, and we might fry people's brains if we try now.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
All right then. Well, thank you so much, Tina. I'll let you get on with your painting. Thanks. Have you got a website, or if people want to get hold of you, what's your Facebook details? If you want to share them, darling.
Stuff. So I do. So it's shall I call out my number, because people can text me as well? Is that all right? I don't mind.
However you want, people. You can put it in the chat comments afterwards, just in case people have got. Lovely meeting you, Tina. Just in case you've got comments, or people want to ask a question and about. Thank you. Someone just said thank you. If people want to find out about your distance Reiki and that, because.
Yeah, I do distance attunements as well.
Yeah,
so people
she was doing it to America last night.
Yeah,
so give it out or put it in the comments, whatever you prefer. We could do both. Do both.
I do both because I did a podcast last week and I put my phone on the comments and loads of people were interested, and then no one did anything, and I know that happens, but they were like 400 on that thing and not one, so I think it went wrong somewhere. Anyway, so my mobile number, if you want to text me, don't call me but text me, is 0789110. Yes, it's very handy. 0789110 76763. And then my Facebook page, and I do live videos every day of whatever's going in my head. Be pink.
Which is a dangerous place, Tina.
Is the temple dash Yeovil. You should find it. You might want to make a friend request first on Facebook, and then I'll accept you, and then I'll invite you along into that group, or just the temple. I've got two: the temple for kind of the riffraff, and then I shouldn't say that, and then the temple dash Yeovil for people I want to have it, because it's a Facebook, sometimes they get the posts, sometimes they don't, whereas the temple Yeovil get them every day. So if you want to be blessed with a message every day, then go on that one.
Thank you so much, Tina. You have always made me laugh and smile so much. It was such a pleasure to see you, and you've just made me laugh all morning. So I'll leave you for now, and I'll be in touch, and we'll do a goddess journeying thing in a few weeks.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. All right then. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tina.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.